She had the clipboard, the heels, and that look you only get after running a suburban kingdom for 6 years. What Linda Hawthorne didn't have, and this is what made it all so sweet, was a single shred of legal ground to stand on. Tuesday morning, there she was in my driveway swinging a violation notice in my face like the Queen of England waving off the commoners. $500 every month just for parking my own trucks on my own property. Imagine the audacity. She threatened foreclosure over 3 work vehicles, but the real kicker, her husband's RV squatted on their lawn year-round, a literal billboard for hypocrisy. Linda truly believed she could take my house and get away with it. And I'll tell you straight, what she didn't know would crush her, and I mean that in every possible sense. Let me set the scene. My name's Mike Torres, 52 years old, run a concrete business in Riverside, California. Been in the family since my granddad pushed a wheelbarrow down Main Street, and I took it from a dream to a $2.3 million operation with 15 guys depending on me. 6 months before the showdown, I'd survived a divorce that felt like amputating a limb with a butter knife, no drama. Just 2 people falling apart, but it left me looking for a reset button. That's how I landed a 3-bedroom ranch in Maple Ridge, paid cash, and thought I'd finally found peace. Manicured lawns, Saturday coffee in the air, the kind of place you'd want to plant roots. I even dropped 30 grand on landscaping because, that's how you do it when you want to show you're invested. That peace lasted about as long as a fresh pour in August sun. My truck's mixer flatbed crew cab sat parked in a neat row like loyal dogs. And then I met Linda, which was a lot like mistaking a rattlesnake for a garden hose. She introduced herself with a speech about community standards, not even a hello, and you could tell she liked the power. Lived in the biggest house, measured grass, with a ruler walked the block like a principal on detention duty. Everything seemed fine if you didn't scratch the paint. I kept my place spotless, helped my neighbor Mrs. Morgan with her groceries, fixed her walkway, tried to be the guy everybody likes. But then, one October morning, 7:30, still half asleep, the mail carrier handed me a letter that read like a ransom note. Commercial vehicles exceed community standards. It screamed immediate compliance or escalating penalties. The $500 aesthetic impact fee was a new one. I stayed up that night, combed the HOA rules top to bottom, not a single word about commercial vehicles. But here's the best part. Every Wednesday, Linda's landscaping crew parked their big diesel trailer in front of her house, burning fuel and pumping chemicals for hours. So I confronted her thinking we'd have a grown-up conversation. Mrs. Hawthorne, there's no rule against my trucks. Her smile could have frozen lava. That's maintenance service, not industrial storage. You ever have a moment when you realize it's not about the thing, but about control? That was it. I could either roll over or fight back. I chose the fight, and she was about to hand me all the ammo I needed. Within days, I get a second certified letter emergency HOA board meeting 24-hour notice. I walk in, and it's Linda, her friend Margaret, and Bob, a rental property guy, 3 out of 7 board members. The whole place smelled like vanilla candles and nervous sweat. We're addressing the commercial vehicle situation, Linda says, settling in like a judge at the gallows. I started recording. This meeting's illegal. 7-day notice required. Emergency situations allow exceptions. What's the emergency? My truck's been here for months. Bob tried to make peace, but the decision was already made. $100 a day fines if I didn't comply by Monday. Secret votes, rules made on cocktail napkins. These people never learned the first thing about law. I started digging. Linda's son Danny ran the neighborhood landscaping business and parked his trailer overnight twice a week. Her husband's 35-foot RV and boat trailer hadn't moved in years. I snapped photos, talked to neighbors, built a file so thick you could use it as a doorstop. At the next board meeting, I dropped the hammer, pictures, dates, names. This is targeted harassment, I said, and you could see Linda's face turn as red as a stop sign. Those are different situations, she insisted. Show me the regulations. Crickets! I held up my phone. This is all being recorded. That got their attention. I told them flat out I wasn't paying a penny for violations that only applied to me. Linda lost her composure, threatened stronger action, and that's when I realized she had no idea what I was capable of. The next day, a city van rolled up Inspector Clipboard, Linda shadowing him like his lawyer. He measured every inch, checked my permits, poked around for half an hour. In the end, he shook my hand and told me my property was the best maintained he'd seen in months. Linda's face looked like she'd swallowed a mouthful of concrete mix. But she wasn't done. She filed complaints with the state, claimed I was running an illegal business storing hazardous waste the whole 9 yards. I knew who was behind it. Her signature scent was all over the paperwork. That's when I called in my accountant friend Bobby, who taught me how to pull bankruptcy filings. Turns out Linda had gone bankrupt 3 years earlier, refinanced her house twice, and there was a trail of targeted violations. Every homeowner she went after ended up selling fast and cheap. She wasn't just a control freak, she was flipping the neighborhood one forced sale at a time. That's when I hired Patricia Valdez, the meanest HOA attorney in the county. She filed complaints, demanded a financial audit, and Linda responded by proposing a $5,000 beautification fee for everyone. In the parking lot after the meeting, she sidled up and tried to shake me down for $50,000 to make this all go away. I got it all on tape. Now I had evidence of extortion, discrimination, and abuse of power. Things escalated fast. Families started meeting in garages at night, planning resistance. Linda's supporters formed their own standards committee. Elderly folks were told they'd be happier in retirement homes. Working parents got fined for non-conforming cars or kids' bikes. And all this time I was still digging for the knockout punch. And I found it one rainy Thursday at the county records office. Patricia and I unrolled the original subdivision map, and my lot was marked Master Developer, which in legal terms meant I had veto power over every rule, every fine, every decision. 51% voting power. I could fire the board, override Linda, and even claim damages for everything she'd done. I walked out of there feeling like I'd found a golden ticket, but I didn't nuke her right away. We built the case financial records showing Linda funneled HOA money to pay her bankruptcy lawyer emails with a developer planning to buy out the neighborhood and kick out the undesirables, you name it. Jake, my neighbor with a journalism degree, photographed Linda meeting with the developer, and Sarah Mills, a teacher, targeted for driving a Honda, started organizing the community. Mrs. Morgan revealed Linda had threatened her with incompetency proceedings just to get her out. By the time the annual meeting rolled around, the whole place was ready to explode. 89 out of 94 homeowners packed into that stuffy community center. Linda strutted in like she still ran the place, but the crowd was done with her. Sarah read a petition demanding Linda resign. Jake recited a timeline of harassment, and Mrs. Morgan called her out, tears streaming, saying, "This is America. You can't steal our homes because we're different." That's when I stood up and laid it all out. Projected the deed language on the wall. Master Developer, writes Patricia, backing me up with county records. Linda tried to claim it was fake, but Patricia dropped the receipts, and Officer Martinez from the sheriff's office stepped forward to keep the peace. "All your ordinances are void," I announced. "All your fines gone. I'm calling for immediate board removal." The crowd cheered like the home team had just won the Super Bowl. Within a day, Linda was facing charges of embezzlement, extortion, civil rights violations. Her mugshot was all over the news. The developer pulled out, and my business boomed with referrals from grateful neighbors. We elected a new board, refunded every stolen cent, started a scholarship for trade students, and turned Linda's old house into a warning sign for future tyrants. The sweetest part, Mrs. Morgan's garden 1 yard of the year, Jake's kids rode their bikes wherever they wanted, and my trucks, my beautiful legal trucks, became a symbol of community pride. So that's the story. In the end, it wasn't about trucks or grass height or even Linda Hawthorne. It was about standing up to bullies, fighting for what's right, and building a place where everyone's got a shot. If you've lived through your own HOA nightmare, I want to hear it. Drop your story below, because maybe your battle's the next one we win together. And hey, If this tale fired you up, like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories because trust me, the fight for justice in suburbia is just getting started.